Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey there, welcome back to the Stepmom Side Podcast. I'm going to tell you a funny story because this totally pertains to me. And it probably pertains to you. If you saw the title, like this totally pertains to you, and that's why you're listening to this. I shared it to my stories. It was a post that I had seen that said, if you are dating, married, partnered with an independent woman, you have about 0.03 seconds to do something before they just do it themselves. And honestly, yes, 100% yes. It used to be really bad, like when my husband and I got together, like when we were just dating, like I would just do things and like not ask for help or not say anything. And I saw this on Threads. If you're not on Threads, oh my gosh, I feel like I have found my people. These people are hilarious, so funny, so witty on Threads. But this was not funny. But the post was about asking for help and how hard it is because, it is really hard, right? Especially if you are a type A, control freak, people pleaser, like driven, all of the things, and you want things done a certain way, it's really hard to ask for help. You're just like, what's the point? But this thread had broken down like why asking for help is really hard, especially in that sense, because it's like, well, I want it done a certain way. And it doesn't make me controlling. It doesn't make me a type A, like my way or the highway kind of person. It's like, I would like this specific help. And if I'm not going to get that specific help, like let me just do it myself, right? And and then we become stepmoms and it's like, oh my gosh. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this whole entire thing that's probably going to hit home today. And you know who you are, the type A, control freak, list making, spreadsheet loving, driven woman who's got her life together or at least had it together. You ran meetings, households, or maybe entire companies before being a stepmom. You were driven, you were organized, efficient, maybe a little too good at managing things. And you've heard me say this before, like, I'm so good at running my life, like, let me run yours too. So fun, right? And then like you meet your partner, you fall in love and thought, I can handle this. I've got systems, I've got structure, I've got love. Like I love kids. Like how hard could this be, right? Fast forward to, oh my gosh, I'm like nervous in my chair just like recording this for you. I'm like, I don't know if you can hear me like wiggling around. But fast forward to absolute emotional chaos. The schedules, the moods, the unpredictability, the other household. You're suddenly in a role where control is a fantasy and flexibility is a lot more necessary because it's survival. So let's just say that your type A brain is currently short-circuiting because that's exactly what happened here, right? Like you were so good at like running your own life and so good at doing all of the other things and making sure that like all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. And then you became a stepmom and you're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like I have basically like no control over my life. So let's start here. The type A stepmom starter pack. If you check these boxes, congratulations. This episode is absolutely about you. And hey, pot kettle here. I'm not calling you out. I'm just like, hey, I see you. Like this is me too. You make lists for your lists. Maybe you mentally color code your week while brushing your teeth. You actually enjoy vacuum lines. Oh my gosh, me too. Like, yes. And when something's chaotic, your default is like, okay, let me fix this. Or I'm so good under pressure, like I can do this. Because that's how you've always handled life. Effort, control equals results, right? You're the kind of woman who gets things done. You thrive on order. You love knowing what's next. And you feel safe. Safe, that's the key word here. You feel safe when things make sense. But then you step into step life, blended family life, like all of the things. And suddenly, none of it makes sense. Rules at your house don't match rules at the other house. Your partner parents very differently than you would or could or do. Your stepkids test the limits. And the ex, she's out here making plans that affect your life without consulting anyone. Least of all, you. But yet you are supposed to be following these plans. It's like trying to run a board meeting in a bouncy house. things are everywhere, right? And I remember thinking like, I just need a system. Once we get a rhythm, everything will even out. And then life was like, cute. Not happening. Absolutely not doing that. So here's where it gets messy. These are the traps that every high-achieving, control-loving stepmom falls into, and you don't see them coming until you're knee-deep in resentment. Again, there's no shame, there's no judgment that I'm being cast at you because I have absolutely done all of these things, right? So number one, over-functioning. This is the resentment factory. We're going to like name them, okay? So number one, over-functioning, the resentment factory. You start doing everything, making lunches, reminding your partner about appointments or schedules or schedule conflicts or, trying to change things, trying to keep the peace. You think that you're helping, but what you're actually doing, if I'm being honest with you, again, I did this too, but what you're actually doing is setting yourself up to be exhausted, resentful, and silently, or maybe not so silently, furious that no one else is pulling their weight. I absolutely did this. Oh, I was so proud of how helpful I was. Like, again, look how good I am at running my life. Like, let me run yours and ours and all of the things. Only except I wasn't helping. I was enabling. And when you overfunction, everyone else underfunctions. Then you're mad that no one else is doing anything else. But guess what? You created this system. Because I'm so good at doing this, like, let me just do it, right? And now you're doing everything, and then now you're pissed that no one else is doing anything. Yeah, because you created that system. Like, you just took over. I know, brutal. I hated realizing that. Number two, people pleasing. The vanishing act, that's what we're going to call this one. You're tired of being the evil, or you're terrified of being the evil stepmom. So you say yes to things that make you miserable. You want everyone to like you. Yep. The kids, your partner, even the ex's great aunt that was at the birthday party. You're bending over backwards, swallowing your feelings, and even calling it being the bigger person. Oh my gosh, how many times have you heard that? Like, be the bigger person, or I'm being the bigger person. It's exhausting. But really what you're doing is you're losing you in the process. And I just want to be clear, sometimes there are times and places where you do need to be the bigger person. But if you're the one that's consistently or constantly being the bigger person, you're really just losing you in the process. And it's just like, how many times have you hosted a family dinner or done something that you didn't even like because you thought, well, the kids like it at their mom's house, or, I want the kids to like it here. You know what? Screw that. People pleasing doesn't buy peace. It buys silence, and silence breeds resentment. And we'll go back up to number one, the overfunctioning, like the resentment factory. Yeah. And so now, like with the people pleasing, then you're angry that everyone else is getting what they want, but you're just an afterthought, or no one really cares what you want. Well, yeah, also you and I built that system too. Number three, this one is like a knife to the heart. Perfectionism, the no-win game. You've succeeded in every other area of your life by doing things right. Let me just say that to you again so you understand. You've succeeded in every other area of your life by doing things right. But here, you can only do everything right, or you can do everything right and it still blows up in your face. You set a boundary, finally, and the ex gets mad. You plan a fun activity, the kids say that they wish that they were with their mom. You try and stay out of drama, somehow you're now the problem. So you can't win a game where the rules change every single day. And that perfectionism isn't helping, because now you're like shape-shifting. I feel like you're like Maui and like Moana, and like you're shape-shifting, trying to be all of these different things. When what you need to do is like show up as you. And the perfectionism, that one is a really, really hard one. And it's not convincing you. I mean, it's convincing you that if things aren't peaceful, you're the problem. That's what perfectionism does. But you're not the problem. The dynamic is just unpredictable, and we have to learn how to go with the flow. Again, that control thing, like this is where that comes in. Like, okay, I can go with the flow. Like, when does the flow start? When are we getting off? How long does it last? How fast is the flow going? How slow is it going? Are we taking breaks? Like, no. You're not crazy. The dynamic of being in a blended family is so freaking unpredictable. Number 4, control equals false safety. This one is also really hard. Control makes you feel safe, right? Because you're controlling the outcome, you're controlling the people, you always get what you want, or everything always looks good, or, if you're all about image, like, you look like you have the perfect happy family. So control makes you feel safe. I totally get it. You think, if I can just keep things in order, no one gets hurt. No one's upset, no one's disappointed, no one's frustrated, no one's whatever. But step life laughs at that. Here's why. You can't control the ex. You can't control the kids, much less their emotions. You can't even control when they're at your house half the time. Trying to manage all of that just leads to more anxiety. It's like gripping the steering wheel while your car's on autopilot. It doesn't actually help, it just tires you out. Right? So control makes you feel safe, absolutely. But at some point you have to understand there are things that you're not going to be able to control. How we deal with them when we can't control them, that's where the magic is, right? Number 5, hyper responsibility equals burnout. This one I know is absolutely relatable to you. You're taking care of everyone's emotions, the kids, your partner, the dog, your mother-in-law's opinion, your extended family's ideas, and somehow still blaming yourself for the tension in the house. It's not your fault. You're carrying a load that was never meant to be yours. And the truth is, you're not a failure. You're just trying to make order out of chaos. But in blended family life, control doesn't equal calm. Acceptance does. And acceptance is such a tricky word when it comes to stepmoms and like blended family life, because I think a lot of times when stepmoms hear acceptance, they think, oh, that means I'm just okay with it. Well, I'm not okay with this. And to that I say, acceptance doesn't mean like you're just okay with whatever's happening. You're just accepting that, you know what? In my blended family, my partner has kids. Sometimes there will be last minute schedule changes. Do I like it? No. Do I accept that that is part of the deal? Yes. Do I like that, we have our date night interrupted by texts or calls or whatever, or we're on vacation and we have to check in with the other house? No. Do I like it? No. Do I accept that that is part of the deal of being with somebody that has kids from a previous relationship? Yes. And once you can accept that, things become a lot more calm. Because what you're really doing when you're trying to control things is you're trying to, you're like up shit's creek without a paddle, right? Like you're trying to like battle this current and you're just exhausted. Recently in the Stepmom Side community, somebody had posted about how it felt like they were treading water in a river and the river kept changing direction 100%, like all the time. And I was like, yeah, that's really accurate, because once you understand and you just are like, okay, this is part of being in a blended family. You don't want to be here. Like you don't want to be in this blended family part of it. Yes, you like your partner, but you don't want like all of the outside stressors. But once you can accept like, okay, being with this person means that I have all of these other things get a lot more calm because you're not fighting them. So here's what's actually going on. When women like us, the achievers, the fixers, the planners, the doers, become stepmoms, we're basically trying to use the wrong operating system. We are built for predictability. We like things that make sense. We thrive in environments where effort equals results. But blended families, they are built on unpredictability. You can do everything right and still get chaos. You can do nothing wrong and still get blamed. Completely unfair, but absolutely true, right? And that's not because you're broken. It's because your usual toolkit doesn't work here. So when you're feeling, or what you're feeling is the anxiety, the exhaustion, the who even am I anymore? When you're feeling that, it's your brain trying to run Windows 95 on a 2026 iPhone. It's not going to compute. You have to update your system. So now that we've called ourselves out, let's talk about what to actually do about it. Number 1, we're going to redefine success. Your old definition of success was things are organized, but they're predictable. Everything's clean. Everything has perfect straight vacuum lines and everyone's happy. Your new one, I handled that with grace, or at least without setting anything on fire. But also like being able to like laugh at yourself about this. Like I handled that with grace and I didn't set anything on fire. Yay. Success in blended family life isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about recovery. Recovery. It's how fast you bounce back, not how tightly you hold control. And as crazy as this is, the quicker you let go, the more you let go, the faster you bounce back, but also soon enough, like the safer you'll feel. Number 2, stop managing and start noticing. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to notice what's yours and what isn't. So before you jump in, pause and ask, is this mine to fix? If not, let it drop. Your peace is worth more than your control. Your peace is worth more than your control. And honestly, you can spend so much time trying to manage something that you are the worst manager for. I can't come in and manage house expectations. Now I can, but like at the beginning, I couldn't come in and manage house expectations or manage discipline. That wasn't my project manager hat. That was my husband's. If he's not doing it, I can't be doing it. Let me tell you where we're going to get. Nowhere very, very fast. Number 3, drop the performance. You're not auditioning for best supporting parent in a dramatic co-parenting saga. No, we're not doing that. You're allowed to be imperfect. You're allowed to be frustrated. You're also allowed to be human. The real magic happens when you stop trying to prove that you belong and start believing that you do. Messy, human, and all. How many times have you decided like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to all of the kids' functions because that means they'll know that I love them. Or I'm going to buy them X, Y, and Z because that means that I love them. No, we're going to stop proving that we belong. Or we're going to stop trying to prove that we belong. And we're going to work on believing that you do. Like that starts from the confidence within you. Like if you start telling yourself, I belong here, I am loved here, I am safe here, all of the things, eventually you will believe it. But we have to start there because then that will absolutely change how you act. Number 4, boundaries with yourself. We talk about boundaries with others, but sometimes the most important boundary is with your own inner overachiever. Here's what we need to tell her. No, we are not volunteering for that. Say your stepkid has like a bake thing at school and like you could bake the cookies, but also like you're working tonight until 7:00 at night and the cookies are due tomorrow. No, we're not volunteering for baking the cookies. Are you a great baker? Yes. Can you decorate with the best of them? Absolutely. Are we volunteering? No. Also, we're going to tell her, no, we're not fixing that. Did you break down the relationship between your partner and the kid or kids? No. So no, we're not fixing that. Also, we can't fix that. We can't make somebody else like another person. We can't fix that. We're also not checking our partner's texts with the ex again. I think this one's really hard. We are not doing that because what we're doing when we're going in and like trying to read texts is we're trying to prove that there's nothing wrong, right? But then the other part of you is like, but is there? Are they pining over each other? Are there these secret text messages of I love you, I wish we were still together? Are they? And if you're thinking that, like there's relationship issues and we need to work on that, but we're not checking our partner's text. You're doing it initially to feel safe, right? You're doing it initially to feel safe. Like, okay, I'm good. They don't want their partner or they don't want the ex back. But then it turns into like control. It turns into like this drug that you can't get off of. Like you have to have it. You need to make sure. So here's your reminder to you. You don't need to monitor everything. You do need to rest though. Rest is also productive. Number 5, create micro control. When life feels out of control, zoom in. I know it sounds crazy, like let's zoom out and look at the big picture, but zoom in. You might not feel control like over the custody schedule. You might not control that. You don't control that. But you control your morning coffee routine or your morning coffee ritual or your morning tea or morning lemon water, whatever it is that you do. You control your breathing before responding. You control what energy you bring into the room. That's where the real power is. Not fixing, but in focusing. And let's just talk about like this micro control. How are you right now? Like, are you sitting there, shoulders up, jaw tense? If so, please relax them. Like when I just said, you control your breath before responding, or you control what energy you bring into your room. I was like, oh yeah, I should relax my shoulders. I'm like all excited, like hunched over my microphone, like, let me talk to you. But yeah, take a breath. Number 6, build a new identity. You don't have to ditch your type A self. You're just evolving her. That part of you that's organized, capable, and driven, she's not the enemy. She's just tired of fighting unwinnable battles. You remember how earlier I was like, those things don't work here in this blended family life. Like there's so many rules and stipulations that have been made like without you, like you can't win. Yeah. Or you're like up a creek without a paddle. Like you're swimming against a current. You're treading water in a river. Like she's never going to win. She's exhausted. Let her rest. Let her lead differently. This season isn't about control. It's about confidence. This season isn't about control. It's about confidence. So here's the truth. Becoming a stepmom doesn't break you. It just reveals the parts of you that were never meant to carry everything. And especially as women, I feel like we try to carry everything. You're still that capable, driven woman. But you're learning that peace doesn't come from control. It comes from release. And I know that really sounds fluffy, and I know that really sounds ridiculous. Like earlier I talked about acceptance and how people are like, oh, it just means that I'm okay with it. No, it doesn't. Letting go takes way more strength than holding on ever did. Letting go takes way more strength than holding on ever did. And sometimes we hold on out of fear. We can't let things go because we're scared of like what's going to happen. Like what if my partner, drops the ball? So your partner drops the ball. That's the only way that he's going to learn. He or she's going to learn. Because guess what? You can't teach them. Right? That's the only way that that person is going to learn. That's called enabling. If you're like, I keep doing this so that way no one else gets hurt, it's enabling. So if you're in that place, white knuckling your sanity, wondering why all your effort isn't working, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're in a role that runs on connection, not control. You're in a role that runs on connection, not control. If this episode had you nodding along or rolling your eyes because, yeah, it's too real, come join us inside the Stepmom Side community. We talk about this exact stuff: control, resentment, boundaries, and how to stop trying to fix everything and actually breathe again. It's full of women who get it, driven, type A, recovering control freaks who are learning how to find peace within the chaos of blended family lives. You don't have to keep pretending that you've got it all together. You do have to show up and be real and see your own blind spots, or be open to seeing your own blind spots. But I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crosco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and a review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.